Hi guys, and welcome to what I hope is going to be one of the first of many casts of Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. My name's Guile. You haven't heard of me before because I haven't done any of these before, but the reason why I'm actually doing these is very, very sad news. Recently GPG pulled support for Forged Alliance, so if you've logged into the game, tried to get some multiplayer games going recently in the last couple of weeks, you will have noticed it just hanging on connecting. That's because the client no longer exists. It is gone, finito, done, finished. So fear not. The actual reason why I'm making this is to try and draw attention to a wonderful, wonderful community-based matchmaking client called Forged Alliance Forever. I will be linking the download in the comments section below and what have you. You go along there, and in many ways it's actually superior to GPG. It's got its own local or recent replay vault. It's also got its own map vault, so if someone's playing on a map that you don't already own, it doesn't just tell you to go off and download it. It'll automatically download it for you and then just set you running. So yeah, it's pretty good. At any one time, there's anywhere between 150 to 250 players online. So the more the merrier. The more people we get on, the more high and low level games we'll get going, and keep the game alive. Because in my opinion, this is the finest strategy game ever made. And what have you with there aren't a great deal of casts of previous games, old and new. Because back when this game was out, esports in the West hadn't quite taken off to the extent that it has today. Now you're seeing with StarCraft and various other League of Legends, you're seeing a lot more interest in esports. So I'm just going to be racking up some old and new replays for you to all watch and enjoy. And if my casting sucks, I do apologise, but you're just going to have to deal with it. So anyway, this is going to be a mirror matchup between Symbol and RastyFOX, both playing UEF. The obligatory Tech 1 land scouts and light assault bots have gone, and you can see they've done the early harass. They're just trying to pick off a few engineers here to stop that mass and hinder their opponent as much as possible. And commanders generally coming out into the field very early on. For those of you that don't know, the object of the game is to take out your opponent's commander. These are these two symbols here. If I zoom in, you can see here he is. This little chappy, he's not doing anything at the moment. But the reason why, you might ask, why do they bring these guys into the fight so early on if that's the objective, to get killed? Well, it's quite simply put that the first level tech, these little Tech 1 units running around, you can see down here, they're very, very weak comparatively. The commander has really quite a powerful weapon, and so whilst being the object of your opponent's destruction and what have you, it's also your best weapon early on, which makes for kind of an interesting playstyle. It's kind of fast news, but here we go. We've got some light assault bots, I believe, going on. Mech Marines, yeah, there we go. And this is effectively Mech Marines in a gunship. Sorry, in a transport, makes for a very good early gunship, and being a Symbol has got absolutely no anti-air or air superiority of any kind, so it's probably going to do a reasonable amount of damage. It's coming in now, it's taking out a few of the engineers, some light tanks. See, if you wonder why it's going so quickly, I am running at +2 because unfortunately I don't enjoy the privileged YouTube status of being able to have videos on for longer than 10 minutes. So I am going to have to bisect this in multiple parts depending on how long it goes on. But it's enough, I think, to give you a decent idea of the way the battle is unfolding. And he's just going to be going along here and taking out a few more mass. And he wants to get his commander out of there because he's not going to be able to do anything against anti-air. Is he actually going to drop off the Mech Marines? No, he's not. He's going to stay in the air and he's just going to finish off those mass. But there's a lot of Tech 1 spam now coming out to the side of the map, and Rasty has to be careful here. He's definitely going to lose these mass on the right hand side. But if Symbol takes a waltz into his base right now and starts working on his power, he could be in real trouble for the rest of the game. You can see that there was looked like a T1 point defense there, but that really didn't last very long against the artillery. Tech 1 artillery is really, really good at taking out Tech 1 point defense. And Rasty's just going to boldly mass his commander up there in the hopes that he can get some points off. That's another interesting point if you aren't aware. Units do level in Supreme Commander, so if they get enough kills, see him sniping some mass there, they will level. They will, and that'll increase their damage and also increase the rate at which they heal. And that's really quite useful, especially if you're going to be using your commander as a weapon. But he's not going to push it, I don't think. He's going to head on back. Two commanders in close proximity to one another. They're probably going to do a little bit of commander bashing. Com here. Yep, here we go. Symbol saying, I don't want that. Actually, yes I do. Okay. And you do get these kind of strange one-on-one battles. On certain maps, it does actually lead to quite a depressingly early finish. And if there was a drawback to this game, I'd say it was probably that. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. Meanwhile, Symbol is pushing with another push up north. He's taken out this mass out here, and he's actually got a decent amount of map control. And Rasty's got to be careful here, because if he lets this continue, he's going to be so far behind in the mass. But he has teched up. Sorry, I've been so busy yapping away. I hadn't seen he's teched up to Tech 2, and he's got his T2 engineer out. He's building a triad, and that will, excuse the expression, but rape face of any Tech 1 that gets near it. And you will see that shortly enough. He's bringing some Tech 1 in here. The question is, will he get finished? Or if only he kept that going, he could have stopped that going. But of course, if we actually look at what Symbol can see, he's got no idea. He's got no coverage of the base. He hasn't even been down here yet, so he's got no idea what's down here. So you can understand the caution. But this is why it's so important in this game to get scouting information. You want to be getting those air scouts out. You want to be getting out some airplanes, get some coverage, so you know what you're dealing with. You're not going in there blind. If he'd have come in there, he'd taken out that engineer, that wouldn't have got finished. But now he's got a Tech 2 PD there, and that'll just literally cut off this entire walkway. He's also, I did see him producing some Tech 2 tanks, I think. Yep, here we go, some amphibious tanks, and this is just going to be completely outclass all the stuff down here. Whether or not he just leaves this for the commander, I think he's going to. He's probably going to send this up here to do some harass with it. But yeah, I really like this play. Usually you get a lot of people that just stand off very long Tech 1 versus Tech 1 battles without teching up, and I really like the Tech 2 play. See, that didn't last very long for the sheer torrent of spam, but I think you'll find that as the game goes on, that will start to make a difference. And Symbol is going to have to think about teching up soon, because you really don't want to be stuck on Tech 1 when your opponent's moved up to Tech 2. You will come off second best every single time, unless they're, well, shall we say, Forged Alliance challenged. That's a nice way of putting it. So, yeah, you can just see that this is not going to get anywhere. They might take out a few power, they've taken out a mass, but with the commander there, two Tech 2 units, that's just going to get brushed aside without any difficulty. And of course, he's got no idea, I don't think, that this triad is even there. No, I mean, he's got some kind of radar coverage now. These grey blips represent unseen radar contacts, so they know something's there, but they don't know what it is. But nothing as far as the base is concerned. So he's literally over, and that's probably why he hasn't gone in yet. But once again, yeah, just highlighting the importance. A few anti-air turrets, defenses going up. I guess it's because Rasty's the only one of the two of them that have decided to do any kind of air unit production, and this is going to be interesting now. He's coming up. A few Tech 2 units there, and this is going to work out very well. Tech 1 mass getting assassinated up there by this Tech 2 units, and now because these are amphibious, they're not going to have any problems crossing the water, and that's probably what he's going to do. He's going to go and hide it up behind these units up here and start taking out some mass, maybe some power, maybe a factory if he can get in enough. It probably hasn't got enough damage for a factory. These guys will soon spawn down here in a sec, I imagine, as soon as he realizes what's going on. There is a Tech 1 PD there that's going to be doing some damage. He needs to move that. Yep, just gets out the way. He can snipe another mass. And of course this all adds up. You don't want to let your opponent keep picking off mass like this. He's done exactly the same on the right side of the map. So if we look at Symbol's income, see he's sitting on plus 22 mass. RastyFOX on plus 26, so not a huge differential between them, but it's enough to be significant, especially with the tech disadvantage. But now there are some Tech 2 tanks that have been rolling out for Symbol, but he's still spending a lot of mass producing these Tech 1 units. I sort of feel like that's a mistake at this point. They're going to be very, very ineffectual. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. Again, he still has no idea of these triads. He's going to start seeing it now, so he's going to know something is down. He's going to know there's some point defense because of seeing his own units pop that quickly at that range. And that's going to discourage him from pushing on in any further. So yeah, so it's literally just kind of very much a standoff at the moment. We've got RastyFOX doing a little bit more assassination at the back here, keeping his opponent under wraps. A few engineers doing a cheeky little capture on a Tech 1 mass down here. It's going to be taking some very, very light fire from a land scout, which is going to do very little, but left to its own devices, it might pick off that that mass point again. And really at the moment, both players just posturing, or at least Symbol just posturing. He looks like he might be thinking about going in for another attack, but he's he just doesn't have any idea what's down there. He knows that there's some
under attack.
Oh, and that commander does not want to stray too close. It's another come-on-com battle, and it's like Rasty's trying to bait him towards his triads. And that is going to get absolutely hammered. I think maybe if he focuses the triad, he can do something here. Yep, okay, that's down. Now he needs to push south now. South. Doesn't look like he's going to do it. No, he's more interested in doing so. You see, if he pushes south now, the base looks relatively undefended. But of course, he doesn't know that because he's got no scouting information. Let's look at the battle from the ground perspective. And that's just, yeah, they've been pushed back now. You see, that's a waste. I mean, essentially the Tech 1 units at this point are little more than moving mass on wheels. They're very, very ineffectual, but if they'd got into the base, they could maybe have at least sniped a few mass points, maybe taken out a factory, maybe taken out some power. Might have actually made something of it. But we'll have to see how this unfolds. He's spending so much mass still on Tech 1 when the game has shifted. This mass point has changed hands about 6 times now during the course of this game. It's going to be interesting to see what again, all of his units, we've got no kind of defense down here. He keeps coming around the back and taking these out. You'd think he'd send some kind of sort of sentry post, some kind of point defense, put it up at the back here. I guess he feels like he can't waste the mass, but it would be a lot cheaper than if he kept having to rebuild what's getting destroyed up here. There he goes. There goes another one. He's going to put some fire on this factory here. I'm not sure he's going to be able to take it out before they respond. No, he's changed his mind. He's going to go after a few units. I feel that Symbol doesn't really have any answer for this at the moment, which is strange because I mean he's teched up to Tech 2. He could start producing more Tech 2 units. Start focusing on tech, but he seems stuck in this rut, and this is what I see with a lot of these games. So many games finish in the early game that players don't know what to do when the game shifts out of Tech 1. They're sort of stuck in this position. And I guess it's kind of maybe taking them by surprise because of how early Rasty teched up to Tech 2, and he's not being particularly aggressive on mass. He's just using a few high-value units to do targeted damage. Once again, he's going to go forward and pick up one of these mass points, maybe pick up the radar. Sensible, that would be sense. You can see it. Yeah, there it goes. See, that's his view. He's got a decent view of the battlefield right about now. He's got an idea. He's got triads lining the bank. And it's just, there's very little Symbol can do, really. Rasty's using up all his mass. He's sitting on about 37 mass, 47 or so to about 34 of Symbols. Now moving his commander into danger. This is going to be interesting. he's actually going for Tech 3. I hadn't realized it. This is why all these guys are on pause. He's needed the power and what have you. I should have realized he was building something big from the lack of power he had before. But that's going to be a problem. He's okay. He's starting with a T3 engineer. He has no idea that this is the opponent's commander, but he hasn't got anything down here to do that. He's actually advancing his commander towards it. I do not like this play, not when this has now reached Tech 3. If he gets out a Triad, a Titan or a Percival, this could be very, very detrimental to his health. He's actually building T3 artillery. That's not really what he wants to be built to deal with this, but this is very kind of ballsy play, especially since he's had absolutely no idea of the state of what's in his base. He's just marched it boldly, and this is it's not good play. It really isn't good play. I don't like it at all. And he's still working on a T3 artillery. That's an interesting move. And he's sending this up there. I don't know why he's not putting fire on this commander. He's just letting him wail away on his T3 mass. That's not something you want to lose, especially when you're trying to produce T3 units. It is his only T3 mass he's got. It's interesting. He probably should have focused on that one. That's the safest one of the bunch. But he's now okay. He's now going to start putting some fire on with his T3 RT. I guess he heard that. You can see him trying to do a little bit of micro to get out of the way of it. He's working on a Percival now, Rasty, and that will be trouble. There's no way he can stand up to a T3 Percival. That will absolutely eat the commander. I love the repair work going on with these T1 engineers. He's figured it out, he's going to go, but now he's going to get some shots in the face. This is not going to look good for Symbol. You see the amount of damage when he actually scores a decent hit. Oh god, yeah, he needs to get out of there, and taking artillery fire. He's down to 1500. Ooh, 1500 hit points. Another artillery shell incoming. Right, oh, 1000 hit points. He needs to get out of there. And he does, I think. He's being hotly pursued now. They're going to let him go, which is kind of interesting. But look at what he's smashed. He's still building masses upon masses of T1, even though there's a Ravager on the field. Yeah, T3 Ravagers, T3 point defense. Those of you that aren't seasoned top fan, they just absolutely. Their range is enormous. You can see that's the range of where are we? That's the range of a Triad. That's the range of a Ravager. But they have caught him out on the left-hand side. They can see it. He knows he's behind. I think this is kind of a desperation play at this point. He knows he's behind, and he knows he needs to do something. He's got a little T3 RT up there. RastyFOX just firing onto this spam. But really, it's all Tech 1. It's not anything that the commanders haven't been facing game. There's a few Tech 2 units in there, but it's just not enough to make a difference. He needs to move his planes out of there, though, because there is some Tech 2 flak in there. And this Ravager just having a ball, Triad's just having a ball and just picking off all this spam, and it's just literally depositing more and more recyclable mass onto the green side of the map. And it's you know, he really needs to think about switching up, and he's not doing it. He's still producing Tech 1 units. It's a real problem. Okay, the Ravager is down, but at what cost? I mean, that entire attack maybe took out a couple of mass points, but that's it. You know, it's all they're really doing is sowing. Look, that commander's now 5 stars, and look at him. He's got 143, 144 kills, 145, and look at the rate at which he recharges. I mean, he's taken some artillery fire there, but look at that. The hit points are just flying up. And really, I mean, look at this. We've got 3 Percys now out on the field, and that's just going to make mincemeat. I mean, he needs to think about sending them in to do something about this spam, because it's kind of cornered in. And I know it kind of looks like, okay, he's got a lot of map control. There's no mass up here. There's no mass up here, so it kind of looks like Symbol's doing okay. But really, it's nothing that can't be just brushed aside now because of the tech disadvantages. Look, he's just sending his Percivals in, and they're going to go marching right up towards the base, and there's just going to be, they can just one-shot things. He's Symbol's moving his commander towards it. I mean, I don't think he has any idea what that is. You do not want to be moving your commander in there. He's got no idea what they are. I mean, that's a one volley right there. That's... what are you doing? You see, and this is why it's so important, and there we go. This is why it's so important to have really good scouting information so that doesn't happen. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this cast. There should be more following soon. Yeah, hope to see you guys next time. Signing out.